We'll start the meeting to order. Call the meeting to order. Come up with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. I need a motion to approve the minutes for the October 5th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, Nick Tirosio.
Okay. Can I get a second?
Well, I can't second it because I was not.
Here, you'll have to put that, actually, you're gonna have to table that, Jim.
Bob, did you get a chance to look at the paperwork? Okay.
He wasn't here,
I
so,
wasn't there, so I can't approve it.
right, he
Yeah,
wasn't part of that meeting.
Okay. And I can't do it either. Okay.
No, so you have to table the approval of the September or the October minutes.
If somebody comes on the meeting, I guess we can do it. Right?
Yep, you can come back if John or Don come on, you can then do
Yeah,
it.
sorry about that. I can't do that.
No, that's right.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Come to the Veolia Water reports.
All right, this is Walter. Got the October 2020 monthly report. First thing, the plant was in compliance for October. As far as plant maintenance, repairs, and maintenance, the dump truck had to go to Tracy's. The alternator was replaced. It had been, they said they had to replace it because it was overcharging. So that was replaced. We sent out our aquatic toxicity sample for analysis. That came back fine. The white pickup truck, I had Chris, Public Works, told him we probably needed to check the brakes. So he replaced all the brakes, and we had like a flasher that wasn't working. You got that working, so it's much better off. And I probably take it down to Tracy. There's some body work. It's got some corrosion going on, which I'd like to see if we can get it before it gets too bad. And there's a hole in the bed and back. It's about, it's not very big, but if we don't get it, it's going to get worse. So just to let you know, I'll take it down there for a quote, before we do any work. Jarvis Electric was here to troubleshoot the odor control fans, panel breakers. If they both sets of fans are on, trips the breaker. So he said, yeah, the breakers need to be replaced. So there's 2 breakers that he's looking at replacing. We also looked at some corroded conduit in the anoxic tank that needs to be repaired. So we will, schedule to do that eventually. We shut down the chlorination and dechlorination system for the winter and winterized it.
Walter, real quick, what was going to be replaced right before that? I didn't catch what you said.
And you're talking about for Jarvis?
Yeah.
There's some conduit, electrical conduit it runs along inside the anoxic tank, and it's corroded badly.
Okay.
And it needs to be repaired. So otherwise we have if the tank level comes up and up, it'll probably come into the building.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Destroy some other stuff. We replaced some caster wheels on the thickener, and we're out of caster wheels, and we're making an order to buy some new ones. Jim Weed delivered 15 yards of wood chips for the biofilter. I just need to get a hold of Tony or Frank of the Public Works and see if we can bring the loader backhoe down here and just push it onto the biofilter, and maybe he can move some of it around, spread it out, and then we can level it out. The building boiler was started up by Ralph Mann. There's a couple recommendations, repairs that need to be made. So he's checking on that to see what he can do with that. Pump stations, weekly pump stations checks. Next item, we received a call for sewer backup at Culver Place and South Main Street. We removed the blockage of roots. There was some plastic and wipes and rags and from the manhole south of Culver Place is where we went in from. And we noticed after we cleared it, there's a large tree in between those two manholes where that's probably where the roots came from. While we were there, we also jetted all of Culver Place all the way to the end, since we were already there. Colony Road, 74 Colony Road. We received a second odor complaint in Colony Road. The first call was a month before. There was no odors detected when we were there, but I've been talking to the homeowner. They had a clean out in their garage, and they found that there was only tape on it. I said, well, before we go too far, let's get that capped off. And I said, someone needs to check your roof vents to make sure they're not plugged. So Jim Galligan and I have been talking about this and trying to identify what needs to be done. They did cap the clean out in the garage, and they said that helped a lot, but they're still smelling some odor. So we need to get to the bottom of it. The Titus pump station. As last meeting, we pulled the pump that was in place. There was a spare pump here, but it had a different impeller on it. So we had to buy another impeller that would fit, that would work for Titus pump station. So we got that. We pulled the old pump, put the new pump in with the new impeller, and the old pump was sent out for diagnosis and for repair or replacement. And I haven't heard back about that yet. So hopefully this week or so. Kennytown siphon, we cleaned out both siphon tubes on both sides of the river, flowing freely. We had some call before you digs and markouts, 35 Woodcrest, 20 Stanley Drive, 4 Bunting Road, 76 Cedar Street, and 9 French Street. And while we inspected Colony Street siphon on both sides of the river. And the manholes it comes down from Colony Street, across the street, down through the woods, and then down to by the tracks, and then it goes a couple hundred yards south along the tracks before it goes into the siphon. So we inspected all those manholes and everything's good right now. We cleaned Renee Street siphon back at the plant here. If you saw the report, there was 3 quotes from Sanitary Equipment for a flush truck or a jet vac truck. So they said they would do a free demo. So they came, we said, okay, let's try, so we did the siphon, worked out very well. And then I've got some quotes. I attached some quotes of what it would cost. And this is only one company, so we're still, this is just the first set of quotes. Hopefully we can find a few more companies and find out what we can do with the best, find the best situation for a flush truck. 3 Molsic Road, there was a manhole, around the manhole was all sunken, but there was nothing wrong with the sewer or the pipes around it. They had a camera and everything, so I believe Jim Galligan had talked to Brian Nesteriak about that, take care of that, since I had nothing to do with the sewer. Stop and Shop pump station, we cleaned the wet well, and we were prepping so that we can replace some floats over there. And there was a temperature sensor relay that needed to be replaced, so I replaced that. I've got another, I'm waiting for a quote to get a new one first. So we have one, since a couple of these stations use the same thing. And other than that, we had October training was respiratory protection and no lost time accidents. And let's see. Next page. And nitrogen is, for this month, was below the trading limit. However, we're over the trading limit for the year, which has been typical for the last couple of years. And phosphorus, we are done with phosphorus season as of Saturday. So we met compliance. Until these numbers you see, we don't have the final week's results from the lab yet, but we're below the limits. Orthophosphorus, 0.62 for total phosphorus, 0.52 for orthophosphorus. The average daily flow was 1.12. The maximum daily flow was 1.24, and the peak was 2.28. Let's see, did I miss anything? If you go down to page 3, other, looking into the capital upgrades with Mavis and Young. Nickel Mine Road, 8 Nickel Mine Road, still waiting to hear from the homeowner. Attorney Proto sent a letter to him, and I don't know if he's responded, and maybe he can fill you in on that later. South Derby Pump Station. The meter needs to be changed out, but the pipe going from the meter down underground is corrupted right at the ground level. So between Eversource and Jarvis, we've got a schedule for November 10th to repair that pipe underground. Hopefully he's going to hit good metal before he hits the road. Otherwise, it'll turn into another project, digging up the road and replacing the pipe. I need to schedule McBack to clean up Broad Street siphon and also North Derby Pump Station. And it's been on the calendar here for a while, and it's just trying to coordinate that with whatever else is going on around here. And the R&M limit, I will talk to you about in a second here. Okay. So for October, it was $3,431.09, which makes it $1,347.76 over for the month.
Yeah.
We are $7,480.52 over the limit right now at this time of year. The budget's $25,000 a year. We're at $28,313, and we've got 2 months to go, which is probably less so far than it was last year to year.
Oh my God, I bet you they got a meeting.
Hey, Patty, I'm in the meeting.
Huh?
I'm in the meeting. He could hear everything.
Okay. Is there any questions?
Walter, the repair, now what you went over was over the month in repairs, correct? The actual, like when you're talking about the electronic repairs or the pump repairs, that's over this current month, correct?
the 3,000, we're $1,347 over the monthly amount. For the year,
Right, that's where you're at 28,000 for the year.
right, so
Right,
we're
okay.
3,000 some,
Right, about 3,000 and change over, okay. But now, the ones you went over during the other part of the meeting, which some of the pump stations you were correcting, that's only over the course of the 30 days, correct?
yes. When I do the report, I only put in there what happened during that month.
Okay, all right.
But as far as the maintenance, there's things that are trailing that come in. So it's like October is up to what I had to get the report by last Thursday night. I had to report late Thursday night. So there's probably things still coming in. But,
And if you look at it on a month by month basis, was that a high month in the respect of repairs?
Not really. I mean, if you look at February, we had $8,631. July was 4,600. So it's probably in the ballpark of, normal.
Okay.
I think we had discussed it. Go ahead.
That's Nick. Stuff doesn't take a month to break and need to be repaired, right?
Excuse me?
A lot of maintenance there. But, so it's never really, right, Walter? It's never really even. It could be up and down any particular month, depending upon what breaks are.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's very
one break.
difficult to answer that
Yeah, we're
question, I think.
We're buying, pipe fittings, pieces of pipe. I can kind of give you a heads up of last month or this, October. We had some fittings. We had some the auto parts for the Chevy truck, and had some nipples, some unions, some ball valves. I had a sewer tape, a snake basically, and floor squeegees, tower generator, South Derby pump station when they repaired the fuel lines, or the fuel. Actually, that was the service visit.
Well, that's what I'm trying to. So who made that comment before? Who was that? I don't know everybody's voices yet. I was trying to discern the difference between maintenance type repairs versus emergency type repairs, and trying to figure that out through the discussion.
Well, the like the impeller that went for the pump over at Titus,
Correct.
that was kind of emergency. That's not even on here. That's part of that we got a purchase order for that, I believe.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. That's all.
Yeah. So you're seeing this is stuff that Veolia has spent, either through purchase orders or credit card. I have a credit card if we need something emergency, or we can't get it right away, or through a vendor that we may not have a vendor in our system, so I'll have to use a credit card to buy it.
Well, Walter, this is Jim. You got January is $300. May, August were $900. So it's hard to keep it consistent.
Some months are low, and I suspect November, December probably might be along the same lines as October.
Yeah, because you're going to have standard spending if you go do maintenance and maintenance, right? And then you're going to have your standard repair type stuff, which is completely separate. I would break those two things up. So if you go to service something, right, you're going to treat that a little differently than if you went to just a pure something went wrong and I have to go fix it.
Yeah, so some of these things are, okay, hey, we got to, this this thing just broke, we gotta get it fixed right away.
Right.
You know, and then there's other things where, hey, let's say we're gonna buy some oil or grease, you know, to maintain the pump, you know, gear drives and couplings and things like that, belts. We bought what was that last month? We had a belt for the belt press. It's like $1,100 each time we buy one or more.
Okay.
Excuse me, Jim, and everybody else, this is Don. Better late than never.
Oh, you're here, Don? Okay, I thought I heard you.
I didn't want to interrupt Walter.
Is Johnny, you coming too? Johnny's supposed to be coming too, right?
Down, yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
We'll wait for him to get here so we can, when he gets here, we can get motions for accepting the minutes after. So you're all set, Walter?
I'm all set unless someone has questions.
Hey, Walter,
Any questions for Walter?
I have a question, Jimmy. It's Nick.
Good.
Hey, Nick.
Hi, Walter. So the body work on that truck is the bed of the truck?
Yeah, it's a utility body, and on the bottom part, you know, some are a little bit around the doors, and some places there's some corrosion starting. If we don't do something with it, it's going to start getting bad.
No, but my question is it cosmetic or is it in the toolboxes in the utility body? That was my question.
Mostly cosmetic, other than the bed.
Oh, okay.
The bed has some hole. You know, it's got a hole that's rotted through.
I was only going to suggest if it was not cosmetic in the utility body that maybe the town had a welder that could patch it up. That's what my question was.
I talked to Chris. Chris about this. He said, "Yeah, just take it down to Tracy's, and they'll give me a quote." You know, so.
Yeah, very
But
good,
I mean,
Walter. Thanks.
But if we,
Got it. Yeah.
okay,
Thanks, Walter.
all right.
Okay, Jonathan?
Good evening. This is Jonathan. And your income report is pretty good. It's you took in a total amount of $590,820.08. And I apologize for not telling you how much percent collections that is, because I've just come back from a hospital stay. So I've had to assemble these numbers sort of at the last minute. I promise you, you will have one. But looking at the numbers, it's a little bit under what we normally take in for an October. No big spikes of income coming in. It's more steady. So that leads me to suggest that some people are having issues to pay, so they're choosing to pay later. So that's it for the income report. I do have one issue that I do have to discuss. As you are aware, I am allowed up to $300 to adjust accounts for small errors and what have you, above which I need the board's permission. In particular, for 387 South Main Street, they incurred a large leak. And I checked this with Aquarion Water, and they confirmed said leak. And
Give me a shot.
their bill should be based on 114 CCF. But with the leak included, it's normally 259 CCF for like 1,440. It was contained to 1 month and looks like it was taken care of. So I'm asking for an adjustment down to 114 CCF, an adjustment of $506.20. This is, of course, above my ability to to correct. I do need a motion to make this adjustment if it pleases you.
John, this is John Uhelski. I'm here now, a little late. I'll make a
Okay,
motion
John.
for that change on the bill. The
The adjustment.
adjustment, that's the word. I'm late. I'm still late.
Okay, all right, can I get a second then?
Hey, Jimmy, so what's
Yes.
Walter, I'm sorry, how many cubic feet did the water company, what was the, how many cubic feet did they bill them for through the
259.
259? Okay.
Yep, that's
And,
what the bill went out as.
okay, and he had a leak. They verified that there was a leak.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, I might have missed that part, but okay, okay.
No, no problem.
I'm clear on that now.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, can I get a second for the bill adjustment for
I'll
Jonathan?
This Nick again, I didn't hear it before, but I'll second that, yes.
Okay, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, chair votes aye. You got it, Jonathan.
Thank you very much. I will rebuild them for the new
No
amount.
Okay,
The next part is, of course, your financial. And currently you stand with a cash balance of $544,130.65, with a reserve of $1,069,088.22. So billing has caught up. Obviously, I hope to see even more in November, and I will get you that collections report. And that, gentlemen, is my report. Thank you.
okay. Any questions for Jonathan? All right. The invoices, I know,
I emailed
Last
them
meeting-
all, but if you wish me to read them, I can.
I don't know if everybody wants to hear it or not. Is everybody okay not reading them, or
Yeah, I read them online.
everybody took a look at them then?
Could
Yep.
could you guys send those to
Okay.
me as well?
I certainly can. Now that I know your email, Mr. Findlay, I will send them to you.
Thank you.
All right, if everybody's okay with that, I get a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make a motion. Pay the bills. Don.
Okay, Don, you got a second?
I'll second the motion, John.
All right, Johnny. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. I'm gonna pay the bills. Next is Mr. Ben.
Yes, sir. The issue for this month, Melissa had sent me the contract and work orders for the online billing system that we discussed and that you tentatively approved last month at the $100 a month program that she outlined. The contract, the standard contract, requires us to provide them with specific information, most of which I think Melissa already has, or Veolia already has, in regards to billing information, account information, addresses, things along those lines. It's going to obviously require us to have space on our website for people to be able to access. My suggestion is, and Melissa, feel free to chime in on this. I think we should reach out to the town and ask that the link not only be put on the Wpca page, but also be put on the tax collector's page, since that's where most people go to pay their taxes online. So they'll be able to access the link from that site as well. Other than that, it's a pretty standard contract. They do all of the work to prepare it and get it up. What I wasn't clear about in the contract, Melissa, and maybe you can help here, was it indicated that services that you do provide include, among other things, bill inserts for customers to know that they can do this. But what I wasn't clear about is if there's additional charge for that or if that's part of the service.
I believe there's an additional charge for it, but I will double check. And get back to you on it.
That wasn't clear to me. It indicated though there's a couple of things that you have that are listed as additional services. It just didn't seem, and there's some things that you would think intuitively would be part of what we need to do. Obviously, if we're going to offer people the opportunity to pay online, we have to tell them they have the ability to pay online,
Right.
and how to get there. So if there's a fee or a charge for that, I think we just need to clarify that. I don't imagine it'd be very expensive, but if it is, the board, I think, needs to know what that's going to be, because obviously that becomes an operational cost for us, as well as any of the other additional services. If there's different fees for those services, I think those should be a little more clearly stated. But other than that, Mr. Chairman, I think it's a relatively clear-cut contract. Everything that Melissa had explained to us over the last 2 meetings. I know, Mr. Finley, you're new to the board. So just to give you a quick synopsis, Melissa, who I keep talking to, is with Veolia. She helps with our, controls our billing, which is done by Veolia. The town does not bill for our WPCA charges. We do that through Veolia. The payments are collected by us, not by the tax collector. And so we are on our own. So up until about 2 months ago, well, more than that, but a while back, we started talking about going to an online payment system. And Veolia offers a system that they've used in other towns that they work with. One of the things you'll notice if you look at our financials is that our collection rate is relatively low as compared to what it should be. It's usually somewhere 87, 88%, and we really need to get it up into the mid 90s.
We would say mid
a better
90s
place
is
to
probably
be.
typical, right? Yeah.
What's that?
Mid 90s is probably typical.
Right. If you were looking at property taxes and whatnot. Now, the other side of that is, as we've explained, many people's property taxes are paid through their mortgage company. Right. So you tend to have a higher real property tax payment than you do on personal property, motor vehicle, or sewer charges, because those aren't paid by a third party who collects them every month. But we do need to get our collection rate up. This has helped in many other towns. Melissa has provided us some information on that over the last few meetings. And it'll cost us $100 a month to do this program. There is another program that we could go into if we wanted to. It's slightly more expensive. It's about a $400 a month program with some setup charges. So the board last month approved this program to start off to see how we could do with it. And Melissa had provided me with the information. I think it's something that I've been pushing the board to try to look at for probably about the last 6-8 months. And I think it's something that we really need to do.
Yeah, I've had a lot of residents ask me about paying online, some type of online payment for this. So it's definitely the right move. So.
Right. And it will increase our collection rates. It will, in theory, maybe alleviate some of Jonathan's October and April, the amount of stuff that he does, and as people are coming in or he's collecting money, it'll automatically filter in and go right into our accounts. We'll update all our reports far more quickly, and we get access to the money. The system is set up to have the person who's paying online actually pay the fee, and that would be involved. So in theory, it's a net zero to us, but they're give that.
Yeah,
I guess,
you'll recover that pretty easy. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
that-
recover most of the, if we fall in, if it's not quite net zero, it's de minimis, and we really don't need to worry about it. It'll get more people paying quicker. We'll get our money quicker. And we'll have a better, I think, ability to accounting system based on the reports that we'll get from it.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely.
Ben, it's John Uhelski. Should that be a line item on the budget for this year or next year?
Well, it's going to be revenue. So we're going to show it as revenue as we do now. Just, rather than someone coming in and giving Jonathan a check or mailing a check in to Jonathan, they're going to put it on their credit card and we'll get a direct deposit into our account. We'll get, I assume, Melissa, will get a monthly statement of monies that came in that the board can see, but it'll show in our budget as a revenue. We probably should have a new line item within the budget for
The fee.
Expense.
fee or
John,
collection,
you're speaking about, John, you're trying to say the $100
Right.
fee, right, John?
Yeah, so it'd be $1,200 a year for the fee.
Right.
Plus,
Yeah.
if there's any charges, for instance, the additional services, if we have to pay for the bill insert, if we pay for anything that gets put onto the website to, direct people where we want them to go. So probably we would want a line item for online bill payment expenses. We can pick that up in the next budget, and when Veolia puts the budget together for our next fiscal year, they've done this in other towns, so I'm sure they can just insert it in and have the costs available, since they'll be the one billing the costs.
From a P&L standpoint, we should absolutely show it. I mean, it's going to be negligible, but
Yeah.
we should show it.
Absolutely.
When will this start? Do we decide yet?
Melissa, how long?
We need contract signature. It's 6 to 8 weeks after that. So once the contract's wrapped up, I will need the town, well, I should not town, but your WPCA banking information, because they're going to actually make daily deposits directly into it. There'll be no, money exchanged by Veolia in this scenario.
Yeah. And Jonathan, I believe you have all that information, don't you?
Actually, no, because the WPCA doesn't hold their own checkbook. But what I would suggest is that the person named Lori Matasovich be contacted. She's the assistant over at the finance office in the town hall. She would definitely have that.
Who's on from the town?
Malia.
Malia, you're on, right? Can you and or Rory connect back to is it Miss Mataskovich?
Matasovich, yeah.
Mataskovich. So we could get that information. Melissa, maybe what we could do is if you could maybe email myself, the chairman, and the town, and we can get you before we leave. If you can give Melissa your email,
Yeah.
As to what information, what banking information you need, and assume you need an EIN number. Either, I don't know if the WPCA has its own EIN or if they use the town's EIN, but I assume they're going to need that as well. And if you can get that to myself, the chairman, and Malia, we can get you the information you need, Melissa.
Sure, no problem.
Melissa, is your email melissa.morandian@veolia.com?
That's it. You got it.
Okay, I'll connect with you and then we can go from there.
Thank you, Malia.
Perfect. That's perfect.
So-
Also, as a side note, Veolia would do the artwork, just so you know, for the bill insert for free. We've done bill inserts for you guys in the past, just so you know. We want to get the word out as well. So it would just be the cost of the inserts, I believe, is the question. You absolutely want to advertise this.
And our next billing is in April, when we would send that out in the April bill. But having said that, it's, if we could get something up on both the tax collector's website page and the WPCA page, it sounds like we would be sometime early part of 2021 when we could be up and running.
Agreed, which I think is great timing.
Right.
Personally, from my experience, before billing, we can make sure we're up and running. You can get some payments in, and that's a good first step. Absolutely.
The other
before
good
billing.
thing about it is that if we can be up for January, people will go on to the tax collector site to make their January payment for those people who pay themselves. And if there's a link there to WPCA, if nothing else, maybe we could put something, check to see if your WPCA bill is paid, kind of thing.
Sure.
We can maybe direct some of the people who may be owing us some money, who may not be aware of it, to that site, and maybe get some of this roughly $1 million that's owed to us cleared up.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll clear up some collections.
Yeah. Can I make another suggestion, just a little to the left? I would highly suggest doing a late notice in the next month or two. My personal opinion, in a nearby town that I do billing for as well, they send out delinquent notice. They bill the same as you, well, in October. And they're going to actually send out a delinquent notice next week. And they see that's their second highest rate of collection for the year after that notice goes out. Something to consider. I think
it's something the board should do. We don't really, in a lot of ways, delinquent bill specifically. It may be included in their regular bill or when they get notice of lien, but it may be worth putting that out there. I think what it will do, if nothing else, is going to generate contact from these people. I didn't know I owed the money, which is normal here.
Yeah, you'll catch a percentage back, and then the true ones that aren't going to pay, those will fall out.
Yeah,
but that
exactly.
Is like a 3% return or 4%. That worked before.
Exactly. You'll catch any of those people who got lost in the mail, or they just left it on their table and forgot about it, etc.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Melissa, question: when people come online to pay, can we capture any information from them in addition to just credit card? Can we get an email address from them?
You will. It'll be absolutely actually required, because that's how their payment receipt will be emailed to them. So we will get name, address, email, and then we actually won't get a report of their credit card information. Jonathan and I could see, the last 3 or 4 digits that they used, but it'll all be, for security reasons, unavailable. But yes, we absolutely will be capturing email addresses.
And we can use that to remind people about upcoming billing cycles or whatnot.
Correct. We'll have those available. And your other question earlier, I think, which I didn't answer, is you'll absolutely, Jonathan and I can get daily, weekly, monthly reports, on number of people who have paid online.
Good. Okay.
Jonathan and I could actually go on in real time. If somebody calls, you can walk them through how to pay, and then you can actually see their payment online right after they do it. The part that gets, for the $100 a month option is then it's just not on their account right away. We actually have to download, the report at the end of the day or next business day, and then import it into the billing software. But as soon as the person makes a payment, we will be able to log into the admin portal and see it. I personally think it's going to work out great for Seymour WPCA. I think it's a perfect fit for you guys.
I agree with you. Mr. Chairman, that's all we had this month, was just kind of getting through that contract and moving this along so we can get this implemented.
So you're satisfied with other than the points you made, that you reviewed it and looks good?
Yes.
Okay.
So if we could get Melissa, do we just need the chairman's signature on that?
I believe so. They asked for the town signature, basically. So I, in my opinion, it would be the chairman of the board. Yes. Okay.
So can you want me to just use the contract that you've sent over, or do you want to finalize a contract with the appropriate names and whatnot on it?
Yeah, let me just double check on that, bill insert and then the other
Okay.
fees, and then I'll get back to you and double
right,
check
that's good.
with them as well.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, guys.
You're all set then, Ben?
Yes. Melissa, if,
Okay.
unless anyone else has any other questions, I don't want to keep Melissa on the call. She doesn't need to be on the call.
Right.
Get her back to her family.
No problem at all. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you, Melissa.
Good night.
Thanks. All right, we have engineering report.
Yes, good evening. This is Jim Galligan. Just a couple of things. Last month, we talked about getting a price to do to redo the foyer, the floor in the foyer. I talked to a fella, I had a hard time getting somebody to do it because it was such a small job. But I did find somebody who said they could do it with the vinyl plank for about $2,300. So if that's okay with you, just let me know and I can move ahead with that. As Walter had mentioned, the chips have been delivered for the odor control system, and Jarvis is working on the electrical controls for both the ventilation system and the odor control system. He's also as Walter said, he's also doing the electrical conduit over there at South Main Street. Walter's also getting some prices
South Derby.
I'm sorry?
South Derby.
South Derby, thank you. He's also getting prices for a new hatch over at the South Derby station as well. I did contact Brian Asteriak about the 3 Molsick Drive. As Walter had said, we TV'd that line. It's not a sewer issue. So I let Walter know that he needs to, I let Brian know that he needs to either get a contractor or get Public Works out there to make the repair. Also attended a virtual meeting regarding the regional study. And the meeting was about the procedures needed for ownership of the regional agency. And they went through several options, total ownership by the regional agency, partial ownership by the regional agency, and partial ownership by the individual towns. They talked about the pros and cons. One in particular was the contact with the residents of the town. If the regional agency has total ownership, then you folks lose contact with the residents of your community. If they decide to go with a partial ownership system, you people get to keep your contact with the residents, with the voters in the community. My own personal feeling is that in the long term, I think it's highly unlikely that Seymour is going to be physically connected to any of the other communities because of the distance. They've already eliminated Beacon Falls from any kind of a connection either to Seymour or to Naugatuck because of the distance and the expense. And I think that I think they will come to a conclusion that connecting Seymour to Ansonia, which is still an option in their mind, in their analysis, either connecting to Ansonia or connecting Ansonia and Seymour to Derby. I just think the costs for those are going to become just too high in comparison to running the treatment plant yourself in Seymour. We also are continuing to work on the condition assessment. One of the things that I did notice in the regional report is that their recommendations were virtually identical to the recommendations we had made for capital improvements in 2018. And we'll be giving you an update, that capital improvement list next month. Just a side note on the fact that you're paying nitrogen credits. When I first started back in the late 90s, SEMO was receiving money for nitrogen credits.
Wow.
The limit that the state allowed for payment versus receipt has been lowered. So that's one reason why now Seymour is paying for credits. And the second thing is you still have a huge infiltration inflow issue, and we'll be making a recommendation for spring monitoring and spring repair at the December meeting.
Too much water getting into our system, right, Jim?
Yeah, it wreaks havoc with the nitrogen system. When you get a flush of that rainwater, either be it through roof leaders, yard drains, or sump pumps, it just wreaks havoc on the nitrogen system and ends up costing you. Walter, do you remember how much they paid last year?
Last year was like maybe up almost $6,000. That's the bill that we just recently got though for last year.
Yeah.
The year before was like 43,000.
Yeah. So I mean, you get a couple of $43,000 bills in successive years. Obviously the difference between those two is the precipitation. Precipitation's been down, but you're paying for treating rainwater, and you really don't want
Right.
it.
It's a lot to do with detention time.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry?
What's the current correction for that? What's?
Well, what you have is you have certain areas in town have old collection systems, old pipes, clay pipes, asbestos pipes, and they're letting a lot of rainwater in. There's also areas in particular, around the center of town where all the roof leaders are connected into the sewer. So you have to systematically go through each section and identify the largest of the contributors, because you're never going to get all of them. So you try and land the big fish, so to speak, and eliminate either disconnecting lines or repairing lines or disconnecting roof leaders and sump pumps.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So you can actually just do disconnects then, and to get it so it doesn't fill into the same system.
Absolutely, yes,
Okay.
absolutely. That in fact is the way you do it.
Got it.
I guess the best way to look at it is at this point, that's one of your largest, for lack of a better term, wasted money in the treatment system. And lost money, wasted money, I'm not sure exactly what's the right term, but you're treating rainwater and it's costing you on an annual basis.
Throws the whole system out of whack.
Yeah, and not even just that. I mean, the detention times are all off, so that the balance gets thrown off. Then your nitrogen gets thrown off. But in the meantime, you're still pumping all that water. You're still treating all that water.
It's a pretty common thing in every town.
Oh yeah, all the way.
Yeah.
Any old system is, has this problem. We just haven't addressed. We haven't really made an aggressive plan for addressing it, and I really think that we should.
I remember
I've
about
seen in other towns where they've addressed it over time. Where every couple of years they're doing little projects to reduce it as much as possible. So they always have programs that try and drive that to, so they have the least amount going into the system as possible.
Yeah, you know, the thing I look at it as almost like the march of dimes. If you start attacking it and just keep attacking it and keep doing your, you know, a little bit at a time, but at the end you look over your shoulder, you've done a lot.
Right.
Right.
Well,
right.
Jim, you've identified the bad areas, right?
I've identified several of them, but we still have some more areas to be able to monitor, and then we want to try and start doing the sonic testing on the pipe stability.
Right. Yeah, it's a biggie.
Yeah, well, on another note, I mean, you have flow leaking into the pipes because you got these old clay pipes, and wherever there's a joint, that's where potentially water comes in. But not only the water comes in, but that's where we find the roots coming in also.
Mm.
Then we have, you know, roots clogging up the system. Then next thing you know, we have a backup. So
It's a twofold problem.
sure.
All right, if you're all set, Jim, any questions for Mr. Galligan? No questions?
Thank you.
Before I forget, thanks, Jim. Now that we have all our members here, can I get a motion to approve the minutes for the October 5th meeting?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept them. It's done.
You have a second?
John, I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I'll have
Chair
to,
votes aye.
and I'll have to abstain just to.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. As far as I know, there's no new business I'm aware of. Anybody have anything? No?
Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, yeah, I think you might want to welcome your new member.
Yeah, as I keep forgetting. Mr. Finley, welcome to the illustrious WPCA board.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Hopefully this stuff will be done soon. We can have real meetings, but till further notice, I guess, what do you hear for the selectmen after first year still, right?
Yeah,
Or the
for us,
virtual.
it's gonna be after, at least after the first year for now.
Right. Hopefully the numbers go down, get back to normal.
Yeah.
All right.
Lamont, if you haven't heard, the governor is taking us back to phase 2 levels as of Friday.
Yeah, I know it was on the cusp. I didn't hear it happen. That's
Yep, he announced it a little bit ago.
wonderful.
Uh-huh.
And there's a curfew also, right? 9:30.
Yeah, restaurant.
Well, that's for the restaurant. He's considered, I don't know if it was him or somebody else was considering a curfew at 10 o'clock from like 10 to 6, but he's shut down indoor dining at 9:30. You can still do takeout after 9:30.
Okay, that's good. Not that I do.
Walter, this is John. Was the roof leaks with all the rain we've had?
Actually, in the office part, we haven't really seen anything. At least I haven't. I haven't heard anything from anybody, and haven't noticed any water. In the
Well, that's good. That
out in the back, you know, out in the back by the skylights and stuff. I thought I saw a little bit of water here, but it's hard to tell sometimes because they're clean. You know, they use water to clean up out there, and there's always water on the floor out there. So it's kind of. But I think in one of the rooms there, where it's always leaked by the skylight, I walked in there today and I said, "I looked like some water dripped in here a little bit." So yeah, I think. But at least in the office, it's not leaking. You know, now there's a lot of ceiling tiles. If that holds true, then we can replace some ceiling tiles.
All right.
Yep.
And Ben, there's no executive session for anything as far as you know, right?
No.
Okay. So can I get a motion to adjourn?
Anybody?
Yeah, this is Don. I'll make a motion.
Yep, I'll second it.
Get a second? All right. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All right.
Chair votes aye. Chair votes aye. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night.